Ay, ang usapan, mga kapatid. So, we are discussing the items of gross income already. So, ano ba yung mga i-include natin? Inclusions, no? Kapag i-include natin sa gross income yan, itatax natin yan. Bakit natin itatax? Taxable kasi. Now, let's go to number 2. Anong ibig sabihin nitong gross income from trade, business, or practice of a profession? Aba, simpleng salita, gross profit lang to. Okay, how do we compute gross income from trade? Yung gross sales or gross receipts, less cost of sales or cost of service, gross income. Ito yan, gross income yan. Sa accounting, gross profit yan. Yung gross income na to, parehas ba ng gross income na yon? Hindi! Sapagkat yung gross income na to, marami. Okay, itong gross income na to ay isa lamang sa mga yon. Kaya hindi yan parehas. Baka tanong yan eh. Is the gross income the same with gross income from trade? Hindi. Pag sinabing gross income, basket yon. Lahat yon. Pag sinabing gross income from trade, o de gross profit yan. Okay, so yung alam mo naman, no, pag dito sa gross income, binabawas natin ang expenses or deductions para ma-compute natin taxable income. Okay? Practice tayo. Halimbawa, para sa iyong kaalaman to, okay? Gross sales mo, gross sales 4 million. Meron kang cost of sales 2 million. So, gross income 2 million. Meron kang expense na 1 million, meron ka ngayong taxable income na 1 million. Ayun, taxable income yan ha. Bukod dyan, siya ay merong sweldo na 1 million. Okay, remember, compensation is gross income. Pagkatapos, papaano pag tinanong ka, magkano ang gross income? Aba, dapat matinik ka. Ang gross income ay eto, gross income to. Yung 2 million na yan, gross income. Etong compensation, gross income din yan. Kaya ang tanong sa'yo, how much is gross income? Dapat ang sagot mo, how much is the total gross income? Dapat ang sagot mo, 3 million. Bakit 3 million? Kasi nga yung gross income from trade, 2 million yan eh. Yung compensation mo, 1 million eh. So, ganyan kasimple lang. Wag na wag mong isasagot, Diyos ko po, na 2 million, mali-mali ka dyan. Okay, so ganyan lang kasimple yan. Number 3, gains derived from dealings in property. Saan galing to? Yung mga ordinary gains. Kaya nga, dealings from property. Anong ibig sabihin dito? Ordinary asset yan at saka capital asset. Walang distinction eh. So, letter A, ordinary gains from disposition of ordinary assets. So, tandaan mo yung ating formula, no? Selling price less cost lang yan, ordinary gain or ordinary or capital gain. Yan depende sa asset. Depende sa asset. So, ngayon, lalagay tayo. I-drawing natin ulit to. So, ordinary asset tayo. Ordinary asset. Nagbenta ka ng 10,000. Binili mo lang ng 7,000. Meron kang 3,000. Anong tawag dyan? Ordinary gain yan. Yung ordinary loss, hindi natin binabawas dito. Kasi yung ordinary loss, deductions yun. So, itong 3,000 na to, gross income na kaagad yan. Kapag capital asset naman, okay, tignan mo muna kung sino si taxpayer. Kasi kapag individual, may holding period. Kapag non-individual, walang holding period. So, lagyan natin ng figure. 10,000 to, 7,000 to. Okay, meron tayong capital gain. Ang capital gain, binabawas natin kaagad ang capital loss. So, halimbawa, capital gain 3,000. Meron kang capital loss na 2,000. Example lang to ha, para mabilisan lang tayo. So, meron kang net capital gain na 1,000. Ano tong net capital gain na 1,000? Gross income yan! Kaya kung wala kang capital loss, edi yung capital gain na yung net capital gain mo. Yun ang gross income natin. Yung gross income again ha, binawas mo yung capital loss. Dito sa 3,000 na ordinary gain, hindi mo ibabawas kasi deductions yung loss, casualty losses yun eh. Deductions from gross income yung mga losses, di ba? Di ba? Di ba? Oh, di ngayon, yung individual, again ha, yung individual, i-consider mo yung holding period, yung short term, long term. Pero kapag non-individual, wala nang holding period. No holding period. No holding period. Okay? So, yung net capital gain, in summary, item of gross income yan kung capital asset yan. Pero kung ordinary asset yan, yung ordinary gain, gross income kaagad siya. Huwag mong ibabawas ang ordinary loss kasi ang loss is a deduction from gross income. Itong capital loss naman, anong meron dyan? Ibawas sa capital gain. Sir, paano kung net capital loss yan? Kung net capital loss yan, ano nga yung treatment natin? Hawakan mo lang muna ngayong taon na to. Antayin mo yung next year kung merong capital gain or net capital gain. Kung meron, ibawas mo doon ang capital loss mo. Pag kinary over mo, ang pangalan niya, net capital loss carried over na siya. Sir, paano pag net capital loss yung succeeding year? Di wala na. Non-deductible loss na siya. Okay, so we're talking about capital asset ha. Ordinary asset, walang holding period yan. Ilang beses natin sinabi sa iya. Dito naman tayo. Tatandaan mo ha, letter B, capital gains. Okay, from disposition of capital assets, basta hindi shares of stocks yan, not listed, at saka real property classified as capital asset, yan ay mga capital assets. Kapag dinispose mo, selling price, less cost. Pag binili mo, the cost is acquisition cost, ibawas mo lang siya. Kapag ang asset na hindi real property, hindi shares of stocks, okay, dinispose mo, pero minana mo lang yung asset na yon. Anong meron doon? Yung minana mo, the adjusted cost basis is the fair market value nung mamatay yung dissident. Kung donation naman yung asset na i-dispose mo, okay, the adjusted cost basis. Bakit adjusted? Kasi wala namang cost yun, di mo naman binili yan eh. Minana mo lang siya. So the adjusted cost basis is the fair market value at the time of donation or acquisition cost. Magkano ba siya binili ni donor, whichever is lower. Okay? Dito naman tayo, interest. Kita mo yan. Ang interest kasi marami. Pero yung interest na binabanggit na items of gross income inclusions, ito yung mga hindi subjected sa final tax. Sir, bakit? Kasi nga, general rule, di ba? General rule, all items of gross income subject to regular income tax yan. Ordinary income lahat yan. General rule, exception, kapag subjected sa final tax, hindi mo na siya isasama. Kaya kapag subjected sa final tax, hindi mo sasama because the final tax withheld is constituted as full and final settlement of tax liability. So, basta hindi sinubject sa final tax, sama mo dyan. So, examples niyan, examples ng interest. Yung mga ordinary interest, nagpapautang ka, di meron kang interest, di ayun yun. Interest income from bank deposits. Okay, anong meron dyan? Abroad. Sir, bakit abroad? Kasi ang debtor, bangko. So, kapag ang bangko is nasa ibang bansa, the source is derived from without. If the source is derived from without, anong sabi natin? It becomes an ordinary income on the part of RCDC, estates, and trusts. Kasi sila ang taxable on income derived from sources without and within. Okay? Sama mo na rito ha, ang estates at saka trust plus estates and trust. Sama mo na kasi sila yung taxable on all sources. Okay, hindi kasama sa gross income. Yung alin ha, hindi kasama. Yung mga subjected sa final tax, yung interest income from bank deposits sa mga domestic banks, yung mga expanded foreign currency denomination, ito 15% to, ito 20% yan. Huwag mong isama. Bakit? Subjected sa final tax. Basta hindi subjected, i-report mo. Number 5, rents. Pag rents, lease of properties lang to. Okay? Basta nagpa-upa ka, anong sabi natin sa accounting method pa lang, kapag may advance payment, taxable na kaagad sa taxation. Tignan natin. Ito yung medyo meron lang konting issue. Okay, security deposit shall be taxable. Therefore, pag sinabing taxable, part na kagad ng gross income yan. Kailan? Kapag ang deposit has been forfeited in favor of the lessor. Meron na siyang claim of right doctrine. Number 2, upon application ng rental payment, may nagdeposito ng 2 months advance. Security deposit, sorry. Pagkatapos, hindi siya nagbayad. Ikaw, lessor, anong gagawin mo? E di yung deposito yung gagamitin mo, in-apply mo as rental. E di ngayon, e di income na rin yan, natural. Eh, ano naman yung treatment ng leasehold improvement? Ikaw yung lessor, nagpagawa ako dun sa, ano mo, nilagyan ko ng mga cabinet and all. Okay? Nilagyan ko ng aircon, mga tiles and all. Leasehold improvement tawag natin dyan. O ngayon, improvements made by the lessee shall be treated as income of the lessor if, ikaw na may-ari at the end of the lease, wala nang bayaran. Lessor is not required to pay. The income mo na yan, based on fair market value. Royalties naman tayo. Sabi ng iba, mga royalties subject daw sa final tax as a rule. Mali! Ang mga passive income as a rule, subject sa RIT. Exception, yung mga subjected sa final tax. Okay, so ang royalty, ganito yan. Dalawang uri ng royalty, active, passive. Okay, ano muna yung active royalty? Active royalty is, nakalagay ito sa Supreme Court ruling. How do you know if royalty is active? Number 1, nagtayo ng negosyo, tapos naglagay sa articles of incorporation na maniningil siya, secondary activity, maniningil daw siya ng royalty. Kasi halimbawa, nagtayo ng coffee shop, willing siyang, sabi niya, part of the second activity is magpapa-franchise ako. Any royalty collected therefrom is active royalty. Yun yung unang royalty, active. Paano naman kung wala sa SEC document? Royalty is active kung lagi siyang maniningil ng royalty. Halimbawa, nagpa-franchise ako sa iyo ng coffee shop. 100,000 one-time payment muna, yung una, initial. And then, meron akong 2% based on your gross sales or gross income or gross or net income, depende sa usapan natin. Buwan-buwan ang binabayaran mo sa akin. Ay, di active royalty yan. Yan yun ang active royalty. So, kapag active royalty, regular income tax yan, item of gross income yan. Nabanggit ko kanina, sir, sabi mo, pag passive royalty, RIT siya. Kasi, ang passive royalty, active, maliwanag tayo, RIT, regular income tax. Kapag sinabing passive royalty, eto yan. Meron kang royalty, pero ang source is derived from without. Nangongolekta ka ng royalty. Halimbawa, one-time payment lang na royalty at passive royalty yan. Pero the source is derived from without. Bakit? Doon ginagamit. Doon employed Okay, ano ka? RC, DC, estates and trust ka. Dagdag mo na dyan yung estates at saka trust. Anong meron dyan? Yung royalty, passive royalty na na-earn nila, magiging ordinary income yan. Item of gross income yan yun. Pero wag mong isasama kung, okay, hindi pala exclusion to. Exclusion, ayun, sorry. Baka tayo magkalituhan ha. If company includes in the articles of the purpose of collecting royalty, active royalty yan. Notes dapat to, sorry, notes. Notes yan. Notes ha, pakibago. And then excluded, hindi kasama sa gross income, alin? Yung mga passive royalties sa Pilipinas, sourced from within, na subjected sa final tax. Hindi mo na isasama. Sir, bakit? Kasi nga, if an income must be subjected sa final tax, the recipient of the income is no longer required to report the income because the final tax withheld is constituted as full and final settlement of tax liability. O di ba, lagi tayo parang matik na. Bakit? Para tumatak sa isip mo yan. Puntahan natin to, dividends. Sir, di ba dividends passive income? Oo. Sabi nga natin, dividends basically, ang mga incomes are as a rule, items of gross income. So therefore, ang presumption always ordinary or active. Okay, pero kapag ang income, dividends, has been subjected sa final tax, huwag mo siyang isasama. So therefore, yung mga hindi sinubject, ito yan. Yung hindi sinubject sa final tax, yan yun. So example niyan, yung mga foreign source dividends. Anong ibig sabihin ng foreign source dividends? Dividends derived from sources abroad. And the income earner is RCDC. Isama mo na dyan yung estates and trust. Idagdag mo na. Okay? Anong meron dyan? Ito ang meron dyan. Applicable ito sa mga domestic corporations. Naalala mo yung ano, pinag-uusapan natin na kapag dividends, ano yung rule kapag dividends in determining the source of the income? Inaalam natin kung sino nag-declare. Okay? Kapag ang nag-declare is DC, the source is within yan, matik. Kapag foreign corporation, predominance test tayo. Kapag dominant income is derived from within, 3 years na dominant income, the source is derived from within. Okay? So kapag galing sa foreign corporation, yung dividends, anong tawag doon? Foreign source dividends. E di ngayon, dominant income is within. Binigay sa isang domestic corporation. Ang tawag natin dyan, intercorporate dividends. Exempted ito. Okay? Exempt ha kapag ang dominant income is within ng foreign corp na yan. Bakit? Intercorporate dividends yan. Pero, if the dominant income is derived from without, ano yung source ng income? Without. Kung without yan, domestic corporation ang income earner, taxable yan. Ito yan, taxable. DC ang pinag-usapan natin na taxable yan. Pero, pwedeng ma-exempt yan kung alin, kung anong merong A, U, O. Ano yung A? Ay natanggap ng domestic corporation yung dividend sa Pilipinas. There's actual receipts. Anong ginawa sa perang natanggap? Ginamit sa Pilipinas. Anong ginawa? Aba, pinandeclares dividends. Ginamit fund-to-fund working capital requirements. Ano pa? Kaya pinambili ng mga capital equipments. Pinag-declare ng dividends. Ayun. Tapos, saan? Ininvest sa domestic subsidiaries. Infrastructure project. Pinagpagawa ng building. Ay, sa Pilipinas na pakinabangan yung foreign source dividends. At ownership requirement. Anong rule natin dito? 20 and 2. 20% dapat ang ownership doon, direct ownership doon sa foreign corporation na yan. Tapos, ay uninterrupted for a minimum of 2 years holding period. Gaano niya katagal yung investment niya sa foreign corp na yan? Aba, 20 and 2 yan, 20% and 2 years. Ay, AUO, exempted ang dividends derived from sources without foreign source dividends. Yan yon. Easy. So, paano kung bago lang yung corporation? Kung bago lang yung corporation, yung 2-year period, hindi mag-a-apply. Pero yung 20% ownership, required. Paano pag hindi na-comply? Yung AUO na yan, AUO. Yung AUO, paano pag hindi na-comply? Any absent any of the above condition, magiging taxable income na yan. Bakit? Kasi exemption ang pinag-uusapan dito, strictly considered against the taxpayer. Okay? Biruin na tanggap ng domestic corporation, hindi naman ginamit sa Pilipinas, ininvest sa ibang bansa. Aba, taxable in the year of actual receipt. Or remittance subject to surcharges, interest and penalties. Sir, bakit in the year of actual receipt? Kasi nga, in-exempt mo siya nung matanggap mo dahil akala mo AUO. Ngayon, hindi naman pala AUO yan. Matatax yan. Okay, in the year of actual receipt. Now, isama natin sa inyong kaalaman, sir, paano po kung mag-a-apply yung company namin ng exemptions? Kasi merong AUO. Ano ba ang gagawin namin? Eto kaya nga nandito kayo. Kasi nasama natin yung practice. Ganito yung gagawin mo. Kung ikaw yung accountant ng domestic corporation na nakatanggap ng foreign source dividends and you want to avail of the exemption. New rule. Magsasubmit ka lang ng sworn statement. Diyos ko po, napakadali. Merong template dyan si BIR. Google mo lang. Okay, sasabihin mo lang doon sa sworn statement mo, dalawa yan, na yung foreign source dividends ay iyong natanggap ng company. Pangalawa, attached to the ITR din naman to, annual ITR, yung sworn statement that the dividends has been utilized. Ginamit mo. At yan ay, saan mo ginamit? Sa Pilipinas. Ano yung purpose? Paano yon? Anong ginawa mo? that you use the money, the dividends to fund working capital requirements, pinambili mo ng machinery equipment, etc. Pinandeclare yun ng dividends and invest sa mga domestic subsidiaries, pinampagawa mo ng building, yan ang nilalagay mo dyan sa number 2. Okay, so napakasimple, di po ba? Actually, bago yan, no? Bago ito, Diyos ko po, napakaraming requirement. Ang ginawa ni BIR, sinimplify niya. Mas maganda naman. Number 3, annuities. Disbursements from contracts entered into with an insurance or investment company after lump sum payments or a series of payments. Dito muna tayo sa types of annuities. Merong fixed, kaya nga fixed yan kasi guaranteed. Variable, high risk, high reward. Indexed. So, in between yan, ng dalawa. Ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng annuities? Drawing natin, parang kwento. So, halimbawa, ako to. Ikaw to. Ikaw, you have money. So, ako yung investment company. Sabi ko sa iyo, open-minded ka ba? Oo, sabi mo. So, ngayon, yung 1 million mo, pwede kong paikutin yan. Invest ko yan. Okay? So, may bibigyan kitang investment options. Yung 1 million mo, bibigyan kitang 5% every year. Kung mapalaki ko yan, 20% ang aking dagdag, naging kinita, 5% lang ibabagay ko sa'yo. Kung 2% lang ang kinita, 5% pa rin matatanggap mo. Bakit? Guaranteed ang tawag doon. So, fixed ang offer ko sa'yo. Gusto mo yung 1 million, invest ko sa crypto. Ay, high risk, high reward. Variable ang tawag dyan. Okay, papaano kung halimbawa, kumita ng 40%? Annuity yan. Yung 5% kanina, annuity din. Okay? Yung index, ito yung in-between lang yan. No? Parang hindi masyadong atapang na tao. Conservative na sigurista. Pero ayaw na masyadong risk. So, in-between yan. So, any yield na hindi subjected sa final tax. Anong tawag dyan? Annuity. Item of gross income yan. Pero kapag ang income, halimbawa yung 1 million, ininvest ko lang yan sa dineposito ko lang sa bangko, no? Tapos kumita yan, binigay ko sa iyo. Yung income na yon, since subjected sa final tax, hindi na yan taxable under annuity. Bakit subjected sa final tax? Okay. Dito naman tayo, prizes and winnings. Meron dito? Yung mga prizes, okay, yung winnings, simple lang to. Game of chance. Ibig sabihin, kaya nga winnings yan, mga sugal yan. Yung prizes naman, as the term suggests, these are prizes. Okay, ito yung mga basta hindi subjected sa final tax. Kasi nga, pag subjected sa final tax, the recipient of the income is no longer required to report the income. Okay, tapos yung winnings derived from sources without, alam mo naman, RC, dagdag mo, DC, estates, at saka trust, lahat yan ang may magiging ordinary income on the part of the taxpayer. Okay, sinamarize na natin dito yung mga different kinds of treatment of prices. Individual, 10,000 or below, alam mo na yan, regular income tax yan, graduated tax yan. Individual, lampas ng 10,000, alam mo na kagad yan, subject sa final tax, 20%. RC, no? Prices ng individual, ay, regular income tax yan. NRA not engaged at saka NRFC, matic, final tax 25%. Gross income taxation ang tawag natin yan. Paano if the prices source derived from without? Ang taxpayer, RCDC, SSL just. Regular income tax yan. Di ba? Paano kung prices and awards galing sa clears ka? Charitable, literary, educational, artistic, religious, scientific, civic achievement. Anong tawag natin? Clears ka. Clears ka. Ano meron dyan? Exempt yan. Pero may conditions. Ano yung conditions? Ito yung the participant did not exert effort in joining the competition. And number 2, walang substantial feature service. Prizes and awards of sports competitions, exempt din yan. Dapat Pilipino yung isa at saka sanction niya ng National Sports Association. Di ba? Easy. Yan ang mga prizes. Kapag mga winnings naman, PCSO winnings, 10,000, exempt. Lampas ng 10,000, final tax. Kapag hindi PCSO Pag hindi PCS o Lotto winnings, individual. Okay, final tax yan. Example nito na hindi PCS o Lotto winnings, ito yung sa mga bingo. Bingo sa mall. Bingo sa mall yan ha. Pag non-individual, matik yan, regular tax yan. Not PCS o Lotto winnings, NRA not engaged, NRC, natural, final tax yan. Winnings from illegal gambling, kasama yung mga tongit sa mga patay, etc. Ay, regular tax yan. Okay, so you see, yan naman yung mga content natin. Sir, paano yung mga sabihin ko, sabi mo kanina sa mall? Yung iba hindi kinakaltasan. Problema na nila yun. Okay, bakit? Basta sanction ng gobyerno, merong permit from PAGCOR yan, dapat ang mga winnings check kinakaltasan ng final tax, parang sa casino, dapat may kaltas yun eh. Kasi paano yung bingo sa patay? Illegal gambling yan. Regular tax tayo. So, i-report mo dapat yung income. Okay, dito naman tayo, pensions. Doon muna tayo sa types of pensions. Meron tayong tinatawag na private pension plan or employee pension plan. Ito yung mga retirement plans. Pensions, stock bonus, profit sharing plans. Pre-need plan. Di mo pa kailangan ngayon, pero pwede mo kailangan sa future, kaya nga pre-need. Example yan, memorial, interment, life, educational. Okay, kapag mga ganitong pre-need plan, contracts which provides for performance of future services, kapag namatay, dito ililibing, okay, dito yung interment, ayan yun, future service yan. Or the payment of future monetary considerations at the time of actual need. Life, as educational. Kaya ka educational bababay ka ngayon, future monetary consideration yan. Pang-enroll ng anak. For which plan holders pay in cash or installment at stated prices. Yung installment, ito yung parang tuition fee every semester. Okay, income or yields are typically subject to final tax. Kapag final tax, hindi mo na i-report. Kasi yung mga pre-need companies, pwedeng ini-invest lang din yung pera para matupad nila yung pinangako nila sa kanilang mga plan holders. Okay, kapag subjected na sa final tax, hindi na yan taxable na pension. Okay? Pag minsan ini-invest nila, I mean, yung 20% pag na-subject na sa final tax, in-invest ito ng pre-need company, subjected na sa final tax, dinistribute sa plan holder yung income. So, pension din ang tawag doon. Hindi na yan taxable. Bakit subjected na sa final tax? Itong plan holder, bumili ng lupa, binenta yung lupa, kumita, yung dinistribute yung income in the form of pension kasi nga may pangakong pinangako. O yung meron dyan, this is subjected to final tax, hindi na nire-report. Okay? Meron din tayong pensions na galing sa SSS at saka GSIS, mga Social Security pensions yan. Exempt naman yan sa income tax. Again, bakit income tax? Pinag-usapan natin gross income dito Tsaka sa estate tax din, syempre exempt din yan. Ano naman to? Personal equity retirement accounts, mga pera. Okay, exempt from income tax din to. Mamaya, pag-uusapan natin to pagdating natin sa exclusions kasi napaka-importante nito. Okay, now let's go to the one type of pension where exposure to taxation ang meron. Okay? Tignan natin. Bakit meron? Kasi nga itong pre-need, subject sa final tax yan SSS, exempt yan sa mga income tax Pera, exempt din sa income tax yan Kaya ito lang yung merong exposure. Ayan lang. Ayan. Tignan natin, pag-usapan natin yung private pension plans or employee pension plans. Ito yung mga retirement plans. Okay? Pension plan ang tawag, pero retirement din yan. Nasa tax code natin, pension. Pero /retirement din yan. General rule. General rule. Income of any kind. Okay? Property held in trust is subject to income tax. Naalala mo yung pinag-usapan natin sa taxation of estates and trusts? Diba? General rule, estates, income of estates and trusts are taxable. Yan yun. Yan yun. Held in trust is subject to income tax. So, general rule, taxable ang income ng estates and trusts. Exception, balikan natin yung pinag-usapan natin dati, parehas lang to. Kapag employees trust, exempted. Halimbawa, yung trust is employees trust, exempted yan sa income tax. Bakit? Ito yung rule. Basta yan ay pension, stock bonus, profit sharing plan of employee for the benefit of some or all of its employees, exempt yan. Okay, provided na yung pera ay gagamitin sa in accordance with such plan. Exception to exception. Kapag ang isang empleyado or distributee ay tumanggap ng pera in excess of the contribution, yung excess contribution na yon ay yun ang pension na taxable. So general rule, taxable ang income ng estates and trusts. Exception, kapag employees trust, exempted. Basta gagamitin ng pera sa mga pension. Okay, hindi pwedeng gamitin sa ibang bagay kasi yung contribution. So kapag kumita ng pera ang employees trust tapos dinistribute sa mga empleyado, tumanggap ang empleyado in excess of his contribution, okay, walang return of capital, yun lamang taxable. Okay, punta tayo sa illustration. Sa pension plan, meron dalawang uri. Non-contributory at saka contributory. As the term suggests, non-contributory, ang employer lang ang maghuhulog doon sa tinatawag na provident fund. Okay? Kapag naman contributory, natural, employee maghuhulog din. Kaya nga contributory eh. So parang ganito. Tignan mo yung drawing natin. ABC Labor Union represents all the daily paid employees of XYZ in the collective bargaining agreement, CBA. The parties agree to establish a provident fund. Ibig sabihin, retirement plan. Okay, the plan obligates XYZ to establish a trust fund and to make contributions there too. Ibig sabihin si XYZ lang. So, kumbaga, eto si XYZ, si company, magse-set up siya ng employees trust. Employees trust, kaya nga trust plan eh. Employees trust or employees pension plan. Okay? Ibibigay yan kay fund manager. Si fund manager, mga kapatid, ay trustee ang tawag natin dati. So, si employer is the trustor here. Okay? Maghuhulog ng pera si trustor, si company, palalakihin ni fund manager yung pera. Pag nag-earn ng income, exempt yung income na yan. So, halimbawa, kumita ng 1 million yung income. Okay? So, yung net income niyan, exempted yan. So, tingnan natin yung situation 1. The Provident Fund distributed dividends to the covered employees. Ito yan, yung 1 million pinaghati-hati sa mga empleyado. Effect. The entire amount is subject to income tax on the part of the employee. So, halimbawa, ikaw ay tumanggap ng 20,000, share mo doon sa 1 million na kinita. Yan ang taxable pension. Situation number 2. Nicanor employee covered by the Provident Plan, nag-resign siya sa company. He received benefits from the Provident Plan that do not qualify as tax exempt. Tumanggap siya doon sa income ng trust. So, effect, ang benepisyong natanggap niya, okay, are subject to income tax. Taxable yan on the part of Nicanor to the extent of the entire amount received in the year so distributed. Tandaan mo, itong si Nicanor na to, non-contributory to. So, ibig sabihin, wala siyang contribution dito sa pondo. Wala siyang contribution dyan. Employer lang. Nung nag-resign siya, merong income yung employees trust na yan. May karapatan siya doon sa income niyan. So, tinanggap niya 60,000. Ay, lahat ng 60,000 item of gross income, taxable pension. Ano naman to? Contributory, employees contribute to the plan. O, ABC Labor Union represents all the daily paid employees of XYZ, the CBA. The parties agree to establish a provident plan. The plan obligates the XYZ to establish the trust fund and to make contributions thereto together with employees 20,000 each to the provident fund. Si XYZ nag-usap at saka si Labor. Okay? Ngayon, ang usapan, magtatayo sila ng retirement plan. O, gagamitin ko din ibang term, retirement plan naman ha. Para alam mo na yung provident fund, pension plan, Retirement plan din yan. Sino maghuhulog? Maghuhulog si employer. Ay, napag-usapan din, ang empleyado din maghuhulog. Employee to ha, employee. Ikaw to, hindi labor union na maghuhulog yan. Ikaw, kakaltas yan ng employer. So ngayon, eto ngayon si fund manager. Si fund manager. Yung pera nating dalawa, pati ni employer, okay, pinalaki niya. Kumita ng 1 million. Ano yung treatment dito? Exempt ang income niyan. Bakit? Employees trust Basta gagamitin ng pera for the benefit of the employee. Ngayon, tignan natin. Lagyan natin ang figure. 20,000 ang hinuhulog mo every year. Okay? Situation 1. The Provident Fund distributed dividends. Yung 1 million, sabi ng mga miyembro, ibigay mo sa amin ng 1 million. The Provident Fund distributed the dividends to the covered employees. The dividends do not constitute a return of the contribution. Di ba, ito yung contribution mo, 20,000. Hindi mo kinuha yan. Tumanggap ka ng 30,000. Tumanggap ka ng 30,000. So, hindi binalik yung 20,000 na, yung 20,000 nandyan pa din. So, yung 30,000, ano yan? Taxable pension yan. Taxable pension. Bakit? Kasi earning yan. The entire amount of the dividend subject to income tax on the part of the employee. Yan ang taxable pension. Situation number 2. Nicanor, an employee covered by the Provident Plan, contributed a total of 60,000. 60,000 ang kinontribute niya. Di ba usapan 20,000 lang each year? Ibig sabihin, 3 years na siyang nagtatrabaho. Upon his resignation. Okay. Kaya may naisip ako bigla kaya ako natigilan. Parang siguro kaya nag-resign si Nicanor sa company niya kasi baka na siya, no? Meron siyang kaopisina na nalilink sa kanya. Baka na-fall in love na siya. Meron siyang girlfriend. So, para hindi na lang siya ang tawag nito, loyal siya, resign na lang siya. Epekto ng Valentine's kasi Valentine's Day ngayon. Char lang. So, anyway, si Nicanor, employee by the government, upon his resignation, he received benefits from the Provident Plan in the amount of 300,000. Ang laki na natanggap niya. And that do not qualify as tax-exempt separation pay or retirement benefit. Ibig sabihin, halimbawa, siguro nag-resign siya, 40 years old. Diba? Anong nangyari dyan? Nung nag-resign siya, tumanggap siya ng 30,000. 300,000. Di ba yung 60,000 doon, hinulog niya? Every year, naghuhulog siya ng 20,000 So, anong effect niyan? The 60,000 constitute ay return of the contribution. Ibig sabihin, return of capital yan. Kaya exempted yan sa income tax. Pero yung 240,000, anong tawag yan? Return on capital. Ay, income yan. So, therefore, taxable yan. Yan ang taxable pension. Taxable pension. Easy. Ito naman, partners distributive share from the net income of the general professional partnership. So, ibig sabihin, GPP ito. So, ibig sabihin, associations of persons exercising a common profession yan. Ibig sabihin, ang sole income niyan para ma-exempt dapat from the practice of profession. Tignan natin yung illustration. Compute the income that must be reported by partners A, B, and C, assuming they agree to share equally the income of their office. So, equal lang sharing. So, merong gross sales na 10 million. Tapos, cost of service, 5 billion, gross income, deduction, net income. So, net income yan ha, hindi yan taxable. Bakit? General professional partnerships. Exempt ito. Sir, bakit yan exempt? Kasi the partners are the ones liable in their individual separate capacity. Kaya nung pinaghati-hati yung income, tumanggap si A, B, and C ng tigwa 1 million. Anong tawag sa 1 million na natanggap nila? Ay, partners distributive share from the net income of the GPP. Anong tawag yan? Gross income yan. So, kung gross income yan, pwede pa bang mag-deduct ng expenses si A, B, or C sa kanilang natanggap? Wala na. Wala nang OSD dyan or itemized. Bakit? Net of cost or expense na yan. Sapagkat ang partnership, GPP, ang nag-claim na ng cost and expenses. So, paano pag merong other income si GPP? I mean, si partner. Pwedeng mag-itemize doon or OSD doon sa other income. Pero sa share in na net income GPP, no more deduction. No itemized deduction, no OSD na dyan. Sulat mo. Kung merong other income, pwede. Pero isang beses lang dapat gagamitin ang OSD, either ni GPP or ni partner doon sa other income. Okay? So, item of gross income ang share ha, ang tawag doon. Ngayon, separate entity concept tayo. Si GPP, bago ibigay, ang 1 million sa mga partners, magkakaltas ng 15%. Constant rate yan. 10 or 15% yan. Okay, 10 or 15%. Ayun, nandito para sa baba. Is required to withhold 10% or 15%. Kailan gagamitin ng 10%? Kung hindi lalampas ng 720,000 ang income ni partner. Pero pag lampas na, 720,000. Okay, required, kung gusto mo partner ka, gamitin ng 10%, dapat mag-submit ka ng sworn declaration. Pag walang sworn declaration, 15% ang gagamitin. Di ba napag-usapan na natin ito sa withholding tax system? Okay, so withholding tax rate is 15%. Sir, bakit 15% ang ginamit? Lampas ng 720. Kaya kahit meron pang ano yan, sworn statement si partner, ano ngayon? So, ikakaltas 15%, so 150,000. Anong treatment nito? Okay, tax credit yan, tax credit. Magbibigay si GPP ng 2307 kay partner, proof of credit to. So, pwede siyang maging tax credit. Magkano, kung halimbawa, itatanong sa iyo, magkano yung cash na matatanggap ni partner? Di 850,000. Required bang i-report ni partner yung income niya? Yes! Bakit? Gross income yan Magkano i-report niya? Yung 1 million na natanggap niya. Okay? So, yung 1 million na to, gross income yan. Meron pa bang deduction dyan? Wala na. So, taxable income na kaagad yung 1 million. So, gamitin mo kaagad yung graduated tax table. Hindi ito qualified for 8%. Merong mga iba, gumagamit ng 8% dito, ginagawa niyang other income. Mali! Gamitin mo kaagad ang graduated tax table dyan. Anong meron dyan pag ginamit mo yung graduated tax table? Okay? Di makukompute mo na yung income tax. Okay, tandaan mo, not qualified. Not qualified yan sa 8%. So, bakit hindi qualified? Tignan mo, ito yung dahilan. Expanded withholding tax, 15%. So, ibig sabihin, tax credit, 15%. Kung papayagan yan, income tax due 8%, kinaltasan na 15%, di merong ano kagad yan, refundable kagad na 7%. Hala, di lugi ang gobyerno. Kaya ayaw niya, pinagbabawalan, mag 8% ang mga GPP. So anyway, gamitin ka agad ang graduated tax table. Halimbawa lang to. Gamitin mo lang graduated tax table. So kung magkano yung income tax na na-compute dyan, less, ito, yung 150,000. So, yan ang payable o kaya overpayment. Okay? Yan kung magkano na-compute mo dito, ha? Yan ang treatment yan. Okay? Now, ito yung tanong dati sa May 2024 left pa. Okay, again, reconstructed to. Same ito ng question doon sa expanded withholding tax natin. So, CPAs Jordan Pippen are partners in a GPP with 50-50 sharing agreement. Following our information available, merong revenue, 8 million, cost of service, 4 million, so gross income, 4 million. Okay, merong allowable deduction na 2 million. So, gross income, 4 million, allowable deduction, 2 million. So, net income, 2 million tayo. Ang tanong naman, magkano yung total withholding tax liability ng GPP? 2 million yan, ibig sabihin, Jordan, Pippen, tigwa 1 million. Lampas ba ng 720,000 to? Oo. So, kung lampas ng 720,000, anong rate ang gagamitin mo? 15%. So, yung 15%, ikaltas mo sa 1 million, 150, 150. So, ang sagot mo kagad dyan dapat, 300,000. Okay, record bang report ni Jordan at saka ni Pippen yung income? The answer is absolutely yes. Okay. We'll continue later.